Welcome back, students, to the last part of the chapter 1.2 on saying please. Last time we saw that how the author is really very much impressed with the polite behavior of the conductor. After a few days, he happens to go on to the same route as the bus, where his foot seems to have been trampled. Trampled meaning it has been stamped. So he gets angry and he looks up. When he looks up, he finds a very cheerful countenance. Countenance meaning a very cheerful face. Now, when he sees that face, all that anger suddenly seems to vanish away. And to add on to that, the conductor speaks in a very polite, soft manner. He says, "Sorry, sir, I know these are heavy boots. Got them because my own feet get trod on very much. Now I'm treading on other people's. Hope I didn't hurt you, sir." So he did not do that intentionally. He has got big boots which hurt the people sitting on the side of the seat. So he is not doing that intentionally, but he is apologizing, genuinely apologizing them in a very soft manner. Hearing him, he says, no, I'm pretty okay. Although it had hurt him badly, but then seeing such a cheerful face, nobody could, even bother or, react in a very rude manner. He couldn't have thought of that. The author seems to observe the conductor for some more time. And what he found, he seemed to have an inexhaustible fund of patience and a gift for making his passengers comfortable. This is something which he liked very much. When you get into the bus, you might find so many types of people getting in, having to handle them, taking tickets from them. Okay, but then he handled each one of them absolutely wonderfully. He would even, it seems to be a double-decker bus, so he would go upstairs and even find out if there is room inside, so if there is space upstairs. And he would behave accordingly. With old people, he would behave like a son, and towards small or middle-aged, he would be, and towards children, he would behave like a father. In this way, he developed a very goodwill among people, and he was even considerate for old people. He would see that if some blind person is there, he would see that they step down carefully and they are left on safely onto the pavement. So in this way, he created an atmosphere of good temper, courtesy, and come back to the same point that good manners go on a long way to create a good atmosphere. You tend to feel very good, and that spreads like fire. I would say that it spreads like a scent. If bad manners are infectious, also are good manners. If somebody is rude to you, that affects you throughout the day. Otherwise, you should be you should have that mindset where it has happened, it's gone, and it's to be forgotten. Even good manners, okay, if somebody is very polite, helpful, and kind, that also is equally infectious. That also affects you to a very great extent. And the author wants to compare manners with weather. Okay, just like the weather can be so unpredictable, even people can be so unpredictable. So if somebody with good manners come over, it's like a blessing, he says. A cheerful person descends on even the gloomiest of us with something of a benediction of a fine day. So if you've been going through a bad day, and if somebody with a pleasant face and good manners come ahead, your day goes well. They change the vibes, I would say. So the bus conductor is doing absolutely a wonderful job with his conciliatory address, because he is trying to be very friendly with his passengers. and being good with a good humor, and definitely this has helped him in a long way in lightening his own task and also other people. So it's making a journey very peaceful and happy. So it's not a wasteful luxury, he says, it's a sound investment, because that's what is needed at the hour. And he says, the author continues, he says that he has stopped going through that route nowadays, but then he cannot stop himself for appreciating the good behavior of the conductor. He says, I make no apologies for writing a panegyric. Panegyric is writing, it's a piece of writing or a speech to appreciate somebody highly. So he wants to appreciate the good work of the conductor. Then he goes on to make mention of Wordsworth. If Wordsworth could gather lessons of wisdom from the poor leech gatherer, Wordsworth has written a poem about leech gatherer, and leech is especially a small creature that sucks blood, and this leech gatherer has gone to collect. It's not always, the leeches are not always available, but then the leech gatherer does not lose his hope. He continues. In spite of the fact that it's not favorable, the season is not favorable, so he wants to connect these both by saying that we should try to learn good things from the lesser known people, or from the people like conductors, vegetable walas. There's something good about them. It couldn't be that because they belong to that lower cadre of society, they don't have good things in them. We certainly can learn many good things from them. Only thing is, you need to observe, look around and observe for those good things. Okay, so definitely he says we have to bring back these civilities. We seem to have forgotten to being civil and being cultured, because what we would say that in today's times, where the world is going through a lot of economic depression, tension, and anxiety, we need to develop these qualities of being helpful, kind, polite, at least talk with people. Okay, because we just cannot have law stepping in everywhere. The policemen are doing their duty, but we cannot blame the system and the police for everything that is going wrong. Obviously, the policeman, the law and order is required to maintain a law and order in the society. But then there is no way right to just come onto a physical assault, violent attack on someone if something is not going accordingly or according to one's expectations. So what the author wants to say is, the liftman could have behaved in a very polite manner. If he would have victory not only over the boor meaning the root, but over himself. We should, as a person, as a human being, we know what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses, and we should try to overcome our weaknesses, try to analyze and think, how can we overcome or give away our bad habits, just like greed, anger, cruelty, all these are bad habits, or what you would say, they bring a moral imbalance in us. So we need to give away these bad habits in us. The polite man may lose a material advantage. You cannot just have always material benefits like money, always. Sometimes you might have to lose. But what is most important is your prestige and your self-esteem. That is what matters a lot. And here the author wants to try to again connect with Chesterfield. He was an statesman and he was an author way back in the 15th century. So he has quoted, in his time the London streets were without pavements of today. Pavements, the footpath. And the man who took the wall meaning the side of the path, the side of the wall, I would say, had the driest footing. So pavements are supposed to give you that shady, you can walk comfortably in a very hot weather. Okay. And the man who took the wall had the driest footing. I never give the wall to a scoundrel. So there's a man who's saying, I cannot give that space to a man who is dishonest. To which Chesterfield counterattacks by saying, I always do. Okay, he did not like the way that man said, how can you call somebody dishonest like this? Okay. So what he does is stepping with a bow onto the road. This shows how he did not like it. But then if he would have been much anger, then he would have almost tried to kill. He had a bow in his hand. So I hope the liftman will agree that his revenge was much. So if you compare with Chesterfield, his behavior was pretty much manageable. He has just thrown him out of the lift. He has not killed him or not pushed him onto the mud. But then finally we come to the point that we are supposed to behave civilized. We cannot simply forget the good manners, because good manners always helps us to sweeten the atmosphere, keep good relation with one another. So even if it seems like a formality, we need to speak those or utter those words like please, thank you, okay, whenever needed. That doesn't make you inferior, that doesn't give you an inferior feeling at all. I hope you've understood that chapter. Thank you.